With that said, it is time to discuss our 3-on-3 questions. You can view them at kgw.com under this topic that we have for Blazers and really pick us apart and see what you like and don't like about this. So the first thing that we're going to talk about that Nate mentioned at the top of this was the play of Shabazz Napier, who, Jared, I believe you said, what in the name of Damon Stoudemire is going on? Love the writing here with the Blazers' newest folk hero, Shabazz Napier. The man is just tearing it up. 20 minutes per game, the past 4 games, 12.5 points, 60% field goal, 78% from three-point land. So the question is, has Napier earned a permanent spot in the rotation? And what about that 3-guard lineup with Napier, Lillard, and McCollum?
I'm not going to go as far as to say he's earned a permanent spot on this roster, in the rotation so far. I mean, it's been a great spark for this team. That's 100% what he's been. And when you hear people talk, they all say, he's earned this playing time he's gotten. And so, with that said, he is still 6 foot, and it is a very small guard-heavy lineup when he's on the floor with Dame and CJ. And so, and teams haven't really had this on tape yet. They're not going into this, the scouting report saying, okay, we need to prepare for Shabazz, Dame, and CJ out there on the floor. They're having to make in-game adjustments right now. And so far, it's not panned out well for Blazers opponents, and it's worked out great for the Blazers. But I'm going to hold off until I see this, for a 10, 15-game stretch, and teams, are preparing for it to see how it continues to go for the Blazers.
Your thoughts?
I don't think we'll see even a 10 or 15-game stretch where you're going to see Damian and CJ and Shabazz out on the court at the same time. It worked really well last night, and I was really surprised by it because you've got a 6'1 guard, a 6'3 guard, and a 6'3 guard out there. And after the game, Terry Stotts talked about how it worked because of the matchups, because Orlando wasn't putting out a large lineup, and so they could kind of make it work. But that's not even true because they played about 12 minutes together at the end of the second quarter and the end of the fourth quarter, where it was Shabazz and Dame and CJ, and then he had Harkless playing the 4 and Yusuf Nurkic at the 5. And during that entire 12-minute stretch where the Blazers outscored the Magic, I think 34-16 or something like that, you had Elfrid Payton, who's 6'4" at point guard for the Magic. You had Terrence Ross, who's 6'7" at shooting guard. You had Evan Fournier at 6'7" playing small forward, and you had Gordon at 6'9" at power forward, and Vukovic at 7 foot at center. So that wasn't a small lineup. But you had great defensive performances from both Shabazz Napier and C.J. McCollum, who played maybe the best defense I've seen him play in a long time. I just don't think you're exactly right. I mean, film will change a lot of this. And I just think when you're running 3 guards that small out there at the same time, a lot of teams are going to be able to exploit that. So I don't think this is going to continue. I think maybe Stotts will keep trying it and see if it works. I just don't think it will. But I think that Shabazz Napier is going to continue to play because of how well he's performing. And last season, when he got opportunities, he played really well.
Oh, yeah.
He shot the ball well. He ran the offense well. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't turn the ball over. And like you said, he's an underrated defender. He's played very good defense this season. So I think he gives the Blazers a lot of what they need. He gives them outside shooting. He can create his own shot. He plays solid defense. He doesn't make mistakes. Stotts trusts him. It's still going to be hard to get him out there when you've got 2 6'3" starting guards, but he's playing great.
This is good stuff in terms of what Shabazz has done and meant to this team, and he's taking those steps whenever he's given the opportunity. He's capitalized on it, and like you said, he's earned it. I mean, you have to find minutes for this guy. If he's going to play like this, he needs to be out there. And it doesn't have to be in the small lineup, but just get him in the rotation, get him those minutes, especially if he's producing like this. And so we got a chance to hear from Damian Lillard earlier this week about the emergence of Shabazz Napier this season.
I mean, I think he's definitely impacted the game every time he's got out there. And I think we can count on him getting in the game. I think Coach has seen that he can depend on him. I think he's has a lot of faith and trust in him. What he does out there, just very solid. Bringing something positive to the game, and it's good to see him getting that opportunity. I think this is probably where, in our minds or in our coach's minds coming into the season, he would play this type of role for us, you know. But like you said, he got hurt in the preseason, didn't get much of an opportunity in camp or in the preseason game. So it kind of took longer, but you know, eventually it came that time, like now where we need him, and you know, he's come in and impacted the team.
That's the big word there, is impact.
Yeah.
You know, he's made an impact when he's out there. And so will this last? Can they sustain having him out there for a long time or in that small lineup? I don't think so. But it's another option for Terry Stotts that he has in his back pocket when he needs to mix it up, when things are becoming a little too predictable. He knows that he can go to this. When so many people, not like we matter, but have said, this won't work. This is a bad idea. How can you have 3 guys at that size be out on the court and be successful? Well, he's proven that you can do that.
And Shabazz Napier has been good defensively.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of defensive rating, obviously his sample size is much smaller compared to the other Blazers, but only Al-Farouq Aminu has a better defensive rating than Shabazz Napier, and Aminu's the best defender on the team. So the Blazers aren't hurting so far when Napier is out there. And it is going to be key, you know, when teams do have film, what they do. The other word Terry or Damian Lillard used there to describe Napier was he has Coach Stotts' trust.
Yeah.
And that's something we talked about before. When Pat Connaughton was seeing a lot of minutes early in the season, it was because he trusted Pat Connaughton to, you know, get in there, provide some good defense, and, you know, make some three-pointers. Do those 2 things for us. My question is, because Connaughton's kind of cooled off recently in terms of the outside shot, will Shabazz Napier kind of take over his role at all a little bit? If we see Shabazz not on the floor with Dame and CJ, will he kind of take over Pat's role?
I think it's a flow.
Yeah.
You got to ride the hot hand.
Yeah.
You let this thing go until it fizzles out, and then you find the next thing that gives you that boost. And right now, he is working it.
Yeah.
I think that he needs to be out there.
I think you're right. I think for right now, yes, because Pat Connaughton hasn't been shooting well. He still contributes. He still, you know, does good things out on the court. But Shabazz is playing the best basketball of his career right now. And I think that because of how well he's playing defensively, and because of how well both Damian and CJ are playing defensively, you can probably start 2 of those guards out there. Whereas I think I even said this last week. I didn't think you could, because I didn't think you could hide, you know, both of them defensively. But you don't have to be tall to be a good defensive player. You look at Tony Allen. He's one of the best defensive players over the past decade. He was 6'4", and he would guard every position from point guard, even down he'd get switched on to power forwards. He was so strong and so smart that he could guard all 4 of those positions. And I'm not saying any of these 3 players are Tony Allen, but I think that what you've seen so far this season from them defensively, maybe they can run 2 of those guys out there. I just don't think the 3-guard lineup